Good morning, my Renews Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for November 4, 2023, Kingston police list the wanted men and the persons of interest. The Kingston Western Police have listed several individuals as wanted and the persons of interest. The following individuals are to report to the Denhamtown Criminal Investigations Branch by 6 p.m. on Saturday, November 4. They are Jermaine Barham, otherwise called Price Wright, Desroy Walker, otherwise called Shamar, Adane Faulkner, otherwise called Juju, Kirk Roberts, otherwise called Pepe, and Frederick Mattis, otherwise called Gaza Man. Detectives have identified them as individuals who may be able to assist the police with ongoing investigations within the division. Additionally, anyone with information that can assist in locating them is asked to contact the Denhamtown CIB at 876-948-6443, Crime Stop at 311, the JCF tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Curfew imposed in sections of Trenchtown, Kingston West. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Trenchtown in the Kingston West Police Division. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Friday, November 3, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Sunday, November 5. The boundaries of the curfew are north along 7th Street from the intersection of West Road to the junction of Thompson Street, east along an imaginary line running from the junction of 7th Street and the Thompson Street onto Elgin Street, continuing to the intersection of Greenwich Street, south along Greenwich Street from the intersection of Elgin Street, continuing along the imaginary line across the Boys Town Primary School playfield onto 2nd Street to the intersection of 2nd Street and the West Road, west along West Road from the intersection of 2nd Street to the intersection of 7th Street. During the hours of the curfew, all individuals within the boundaries are required to remain within their premises for 48 hours unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Homemade gun found in open lot in Mandeville. The Manchester police on Thursday discovered a homemade gun along with several rounds of ammunition in an open lot in Miketown, Mandeville. Reports are that about 4 p.m., lawmen acting on information conducted a snap raid in the area. A search was conducted and a black homemade revolver along with 11.38 rounds of ammunition was found wrapped in a plastic bag. No arrest has been made in connection with the seizure. Investigations continue. 2 Colombians fined for illegal entry into Jamaica. 2 Colombians who were held in Helsher St. Catherine were fined $7,000 or 30 days imprisonment after they pleaded guilty to entering Jamaica illegally in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Friday. Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Alain handed down the sentences to Carlos Jose Flores, a 37-year-old fisherman, and a 36-year-old Luis Fariti, both of Riohacha, Colombia. Their attorney, Denise Hinson, told the court that her clients had been languishing in jail and wanted to return home. The court was told that the Passport Immigration and the Citizenship Agency will be working with the police to arrange repatriation of the 2 accused men. A 14-hour joint operation led to the capture of the men in Helsher on September 27. Fearful witness reportedly declined to give statement on planned acid attack. A police corporal has testified that the man whom Everton Beach Stout MacDonald had reportedly hired to disfigure his wife with black acid had refused to give a statement, claiming he feared for his life. A police informant, who is an incarcerated witness, on Thursday testified that the 68-year-old businessman had hired him to harm his wife, Tonya, and gave him $60,000 to purchase the substance. Before completing his evidence yesterday, he admitted on the cross-examination from John Paul Hamilton, one of MacDonald's 5 lawyers, that he used to transact business with a criminal and was himself a criminal. He also stated that he knew MacDonald to be a criminal as well. The salesman, who is serving a sentence for misprision of felony and receiving stolen goods, also admitted that he was convicted in 1999 for receiving stolen goods. He also accepted that he was charged with murder and a conspiracy to murder, but that the charges were dropped. The witness, who claimed he first met McDonald in 2019, said they met again in January 2020 when the businessman brought him to a plaza in Portland where his wife was in a salon drying her hair and egged him on to harm her there, but that he refused because she was so beautiful. The court also heard from the witness that after he snuck away and left the plaza, he went to the Port Antonio police station and reported the matter to an officer who had previously arrested him for larceny of cattle. The bottle with the substance was also reportedly handed over to the police. The witness said he had also accompanied the police to the supermarket and showed him Tonya. After taking the witness stand yesterday, the corporal, who has served in the Jamaica Constabulary Force for 35 years and 2 days, corroborated the salesman's evidence. He confirmed that the police's informant, who he described as his friend, had made a report to him and gave him a bottle with a black liquid. Additionally, he said the fourth witness also took him to the supermarket and showed him a woman who identified herself as Sassy and Tonya McDonald. However, the corporal said the witness had refused to give a statement, claiming that he was fearful for his life. As a result, the cop said he could not proceed with the case. But attorney-at-law John Jacobs, who is also representing McDonald, sought to discredit the police witness's evidence by suggesting that the corporal colluded with detectives from the Major Investigation Division to fabricate the acid mission story with the police informant's help. But this was rejected by the corporal, who also denied fabricating 2 statements he had given to the police. Jacobs also grilled the corporal about a declaration that was missing from both his statements. The corporal had agreed that it was a normal police procedure for the declaration to be written at the end of each statement, and that essentially the declaration was a statement saying that the information was true and honest and was not fabricated. But when he was initially asked by Jacobs whether there was no declaration on either statement, the witness said he could not recall. However, he later agreed that the statement did not have any declarations. But the corporal shot down a suggestion from Jacobs that the declaration was absent because the statements were made up, while pointing out that it was the responsibility of the officer who had recorded the statement to ensure that the declaration was included. Further, during the cross-examination, the corporal denied that he had not collected any bottle with a black liquid and that he and the MID made up the story about acid in Tonya to bolster the Crown's case against his client. McDonald and Oscar Barnes, a 33-year-old Tyler from St. Mary, are both on trial in the Home Circuit Court for Tonya's July 20, 2020 murder. The woman's partially burnt body was found along a deserted road in Sherwood Forest, Portland, with the throat slashed and multiple stab wounds. A self-confessed contract killer who was given a 19-year sentence with a stipulation that he served 10 years before parole for his role in her death, earlier testified that McDonald had hired him to kill Tonya for $3 million, but that he subcontracted Barnes to commit the act. The trial will resume on Monday. Fewer children engaged in lottery scamming, says police. Assistant Commissioner Clifford Chambers, head of the Area 1 Police, says fewer students are engaged in lottery scamming. Concerns were raised about an increase in school children, especially in Western Jamaica, getting involved in the illegal activity. But ACP Chambers says interventions by the police and other groups have been successful in keeping children away from crime.
I'm happy to report that we are not seeing that high percentage of students. It has dwindled down exponentially, and that has to do with the work that law enforcement is doing. We have our community safety and security branch that go into these schools. They have programs, they have seminars, they have discourse with the classes, the teachers, the students, and we also get good support from USAID and other stakeholders, entity that somehow adopt the school. They would go in the school, they'd go in the communities. And one of the things that we try to do is to make sure that when we make arrests for scammers, the information is known, so the children or those looking on can understand that the life of a scammer, it doesn't really pay.
Man wounded in Roostown gun attack. Gunmen struck in the troubled community of Roostown, Kingston on Thursday night, forcing residents to flee for their lives under a hail of bullets. The attack occurred about 9:30 p.m. at the intersection of White and Duff Streets. The Kingston Western Police say a 43-year-old resident was the main target of the attack. It is reported that the man and other family members were sitting under a shed conversing when they heard loud explosions and they saw two men coming towards them. The men opened fire on the group, forcing the man and the members of his family to jump into a nearby gully in a bid to escape. It was later discovered that the 43-year-old man, Mason, was shot in the leg. He was taken to hospital for treatment. The hoodlums also sprayed his house with bullets. The Kingston Western Police have been keeping a close watch on the Rosetown community following a flare-up of gang violence over the last month.
Audio